You've had one of those days, haven't you? Everything just clicks. You wake up feeling light. A stranger smiles at you. You get an unexpected message, good news, and for a moment, just a brief moment, life feels effortless. But then something happens. A voice creeps in, your voice, and it whispers, "This won't last." So you brace yourself. You start waiting for the other shoe to drop. You grip tighter. You start thinking, analyzing, planning how to keep this luck alive. And just like that, it's gone. The magic disappears, the flow stops, and you're left standing there saying the same thing you always say, "I knew it, good things never last for me." But here's what no one tells you. It wasn't fate. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't the universe punishing you. It was you. Not because you're broken, not because you're unworthy, but because you did something. Something so subtle, so automatic that you pushed the wave away without even realizing it. And that something? It has everything to do with the observer effect. You've probably heard this term before, quantum physics. The idea that the act of observation changes the outcome of an experiment. Particles behave differently when they're being watched. But what if I told you this isn't just physics? What if the same principle applies to your luck, your success, your happiness? What if the way you observe your good fortune, the way you watch it, analyze it, grip it, is the very thing that makes it collapse? This is the part almost nobody talks about, and it's the reason why catching the wave of success is both simpler and more difficult than you've been told. So let me ask you something before we go deeper. When was the last time something good happened to you, and you actually let yourself enjoy it, without fear, without doubt, without waiting for it to disappear? If you can't remember, you're exactly where you need to be. Let's begin. Let me paint a picture. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You meet someone good, someone who actually sees you, and for the first time in a long time you feel hopeful. But almost immediately the questions start. Why do they like me? What if they find out I'm not that interesting? How long until they leave? So you start holding on tighter. You text more. You need more reassurance. You become someone you don't recognize, clingy, anxious, afraid, and eventually they pull away. Not because you weren't enough, but because your fear became suffocating, and when it ends, you tell yourself, "See, I knew it wouldn't last." But here's the paradox nobody explains to you. You didn't predict the ending. You created it. Your observation, your anxious, fearful, gripping observation, collapsed the wave of possibility into the very outcome you feared most. This is the observer effect in action, not in a physics lab, in your life. Here's another pattern I see constantly. You get an opportunity, a job interview, a business idea, a chance to change your life. And instead of feeling excited, you feel heavy. Your mind races. What if I mess it up? What if I'm not qualified? What if they realize I don't belong here? So you walk into that room already defeated. Your energy is low. Your words don't flow. You're so busy preparing for failure that you can't access your real brilliance. And when you don't get the job, you nod knowingly. I knew I wasn't good enough. But you were good enough. You just weren't present. You were too busy observing yourself fail to allow yourself to succeed. This is what I call the self-sabotage loop. And it works like this. Step 1, something good happens. Step 2, your mind immediately flags it as suspicious. This is too good, something bad is coming. Step 3, you flood your system with negative energy. Doubt, fear, unworthiness. Step 4, that energy pushes you off the wave of success. Step 5, bad things happen. Step 6, you say, "I knew it," and the belief gets stronger. Do you see the trap? You're not unlucky. You're caught in a loop that confirms itself every single time. And the engine driving this loop is the way you observe your own life. Let me go deeper. Many of us were taught, especially if you grew up in a difficult environment, that good things are rare, that happiness is something you have to fight for, earn, prove yourself worthy of. So when happiness arrives uninvited, we don't trust it. We think, "I didn't suffer enough for this, I didn't work hard enough, this can't be real." And because we can't receive it, we reject it. We push it away with our doubt, our analysis, our desperate need to understand why something good is happening to us. But here's the truth that might sting a little. The universe doesn't care about your suffering quota. There's no cosmic accountant keeping track of how much pain you've endured before you deserve joy. The wave of success doesn't ask for your resume. It doesn't check if you've earned it. It simply shows up, and then it waits to see what you'll do. Will you receive it, or will you observe it to death? Because here's what happens when you over-observe. You shift from receiving mode to controlling mode. You shift from flow to grip. You shift from trust to fear, and in quantum terms, you collapse the wave function. You take infinite possibility and you freeze it into a single outcome, usually the one you were most afraid of. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. How many times have you taken something beautiful and analyzed it until it lost its magic? How many times have you looked at a gift and thought, what's the catch? How many times have you been so busy preparing for loss that you couldn't experience the having? If you're feeling something right now, a tightness in your chest, a recognition in your gut, that's not shame. That's awareness. And awareness is the first step off the loop. Now take a breath. Because here's the good news, the really good news. If you created the pattern, you can also break it. If your observation has the power to collapse waves of possibility into negative outcomes, then it also has the power to do the opposite. You can learn to observe differently. Let me explain this in a way that actually makes sense. In reality transurfing, we talk about something called the wave of success. It's not a metaphor. It's not wishful thinking. It's a real structure, a cluster of favorable life tracks that exist in the space of variations. Think of it like this. Imagine you're swimming in the ocean. You're tired. You've been fighting the current for so long, and then a wave comes. A gentle, powerful wave that could carry you to shore without any effort on your part. That's the wave of success. It's not something you create, it's something you catch. It's already there, moving through the field of possibilities, waiting for someone to align with it. But here's the key, the wave doesn't require your effort, it requires your choice. The bird of happiness, as the old saying goes, doesn't mind pecking seeds from your hand. You don't have to catch it, you just have to stop chasing it away. And this is where the observer effect becomes your greatest ally instead of your greatest enemy. When you observe with fear, you collapse possibilities into problems. When you observe with trust, you allow possibilities to unfold into gifts. Same wave. Different observation. Completely different outcome. So how do you make this shift? It starts with something radically simple. When something good happens, no matter how small, let yourself feel good about it. That's it. Don't analyze it, don't question it, don't prepare for it to end. Just be in it. Let the good news land, let the compliments sink in. Let the lucky break mean something. Because here's what most people don't understand. That small moment of genuine happiness, that moment of receiving without resistance, it's not just a feeling, it's a signal. It's an echo from a better life track, reaching out to you, saying, come this way. There's more where this came from. Your job is not to understand how it works. Your job is to follow the thread. And the thread is always made of good feelings received without resistance. Ready to go deeper? Let's talk about the mechanics, the real mechanics, because once you understand how this works, you'll never look at your luck the same way again. In quantum physics, there's a famous experiment, the double slit experiment. When scientists shoot particles through two slits without observing them, the particles behave like waves, creating an interference pattern on the screen behind them. But here's the strange part. When scientists set up a detector to observe which slit the particle goes through, something changes. The wave pattern disappears. The particles start behaving like solid objects, going through one slit or the other. The act of observation changes the behavior of reality. Let that sink in for a moment. The particle doesn't decide what to be until it's observed. Before observation, it exists in a state of possibility, a wave of potential. After observation, it collapses into a single fixed outcome. Now here's where it gets interesting for us. You are an observer. Every moment of every day you are observing your reality. And the way you observe, the energy, the expectation, the belief you bring to that observation, influences what collapses into form. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this extensively. Your thoughts and emotions create an electromagnetic signature. That signature interacts with the quantum field, and the field responds, not to what you want, but to what you embody. If you embody fear and doubt, the field matches that frequency. If you embody trust and openness, the field matches that instead. This is not magic, this is mechanism. So let's apply this to the wave of success. The wave exists in the space of variations. It's a real structure, a cascade of favorable life tracks bundled together. When you stumble onto one favorable track, you naturally slide toward others. It's like finding a vein of gold. Once you're in it, more gold appears, but here's what nobody tells you. The wave doesn't move. You do. When good things start happening to you, you haven't attracted the wave. You've moved closer to it. Your frequency has shifted and suddenly you're in alignment with tracks that were always there, waiting. And when bad things start happening again, you haven't lost the wave. You've moved away from it. Your frequency shifted, usually because of fear, doubt, or negative observation. And now you're on a different track. This is why your response to good fortune matters so much. When something good happens, a small win, a lucky break, an unexpected gift, that's a signal. It's information reaching you from a favorable life track. It's the universe saying, you're close, you're on the right path, keep going. Your job in that moment is simple. Receive the signal, feel the goodness, and let that feeling pull you further onto the wave. But here's what most people do instead. They get the good news and immediately they tense up. They start asking, why is this happening? What does it mean? How do I keep it? What if I lose it? And in that moment of fearful observation, they collapse the wave. They freeze infinite possibility into a single anxious outcome. They grip so tight that the thing slips right through their fingers. This is why I say the observer effect makes the wave of success easier to catch, but only if you understand how to observe correctly. Let me give you a metaphor that might help. Imagine you're holding a butterfly. It landed on your palm willingly. It chose to rest there. All you have to do is stay still and enjoy its presence. But instead, you panic. What if it flies away? So you close your hand, just a little, just to keep it safe. And what happens? The butterfly feels the pressure and flees. You didn't lose the butterfly because butterflies are hard to keep. You lost it because you observed it with fear instead of trust. The wave of success works exactly the same way. It comes to you freely. It doesn't ask for effort. It doesn't require you to prove yourself worthy. It simply lands in your life through a chance encounter, a piece of good news, a moment of unexpected flow. And then it watches how you respond. If you respond with openness, with gratitude, with presence, with simple enjoyment, you stay on the wave. You slide further into the vein of gold. More good things appear. But if you respond with fear, with analysis, with doubt, with desperate gripping, you push yourself off the wave. And then you're back in the old story. See, I knew it wouldn't last. Here's the radical shift I want you to understand. You've been trained to think that success requires effort, that happiness must be chased, that good things come to those who work hard and want it badly enough. But the wave of success operates on a completely different principle. It doesn't respond to your effort. It responds to your alignment. It doesn't respond to your wanting. It responds to your receiving. It doesn't respond to your chasing. It responds to your allowing. This is the part that's both simple and uncomfortable. Simple, because all you have to do is stop pushing things away. Uncomfortable, because it means everything you've been taught about success might be wrong. Let me tell you something that might change everything. The most successful manifestors I know, the people who seem to live in a constant stream of good fortune, they don't work harder than everyone else. They don't want it more. They don't have some secret technique the rest of us lack. They simply receive differently. When good things come, they don't question, they enjoy. When luck appears, they don't grip, they flow. When the wave rises, they don't analyze, they ride. That's it. That's the whole secret, and the reason it works is because their way of observing keeps the wave function open. They don't collapse possibility into fear. They let possibility unfold into more possibility. So here's my question for you. What would happen if you stopped observing your luck with suspicion? What would happen if you met good fortune with nothing but simple, genuine appreciation? What if you stopped preparing for loss and started practicing presence? Think about it. Sit with it. Because this is the doorway to everything you've been looking for. Now, here's the part that changes everything. You've probably been thinking, okay, I understand. I need to observe differently. I need to stop gripping, stop fearing, stop collapsing the wave. But here's what I haven't told you yet. The observation that matters most isn't the observation of your luck. It's the observation of yourself. Let me explain. Most people think the problem is how they look at external events. They think, if I can just react better to good news, I'll stay on the wave. But that's not where the real collapse happens. The real collapse happens in how you observe your own worthiness. Deep down, underneath all the techniques and mindset shifts and positive thinking, there's a belief, a quiet, persistent belief that says, I don't deserve this. And that belief is the master observer. It colors everything. It filters every experience through a lens of unworthiness. And no matter how much you try to receive good fortune, this belief keeps collapsing the wave before you can even catch it. Here's the mechanism. When something good happens to you, the first thing your psyche does is check it against your self-image. Your subconscious asks, is this consistent with who I believe I am? If you believe you're worthy, the good fortune feels natural. You receive it easily. You stay on the wave. But if you believe you're unworthy, the good fortune feels like a mistake, an error in the system, something that must be corrected. So your subconscious goes to work. It generates doubt. It creates anxiety. It starts the self-sabotage loop. It does whatever it takes to bring your external reality back into alignment with your internal belief. This is why affirmations don't work for most people. You can repeat, I am worthy 1,000 times. But if the observer inside, your core self-image, believes something different, it will collapse every wave of success that comes your way. The observation happens at the level of identity, not affirmation. So here's the twist, the real twist. You don't need to become worthy. You already are. Worthiness isn't something you earn. It isn't something you prove. It isn't something you achieve after enough suffering or hard work or personal development. Worthiness is your natural state. You were born worthy. Before you did anything, before you achieved anything, before you proved anything to anyone. A baby doesn't question whether it deserves love. It simply receives. And somewhere along the way, you learn to question. You learn to doubt. You learn to observe yourself through a lens of inadequacy. But that lens was installed. It's not original equipment. The observer effect doesn't just work on external reality. It works on internal reality too. When you observe yourself as unworthy, you collapse your potential into limitation. When you observe yourself as broken, you collapse your possibilities into patterns of brokenness. When you observe yourself as someone who doesn't get to keep good things, you create exactly that experience, over and over again. But here's the liberation. If observation creates, then observation can also recreate. You can choose to observe yourself differently. Not through fake affirmations, not through forced positivity, but through a genuine shift in how you witness yourself. What if, starting today, you observed yourself the way you'd observe someone you love? With kindness, with patience, with the assumption of inherent worth. What if you looked at yourself receiving good fortune and thought, yes, this makes sense. Of course good things come to this person. What if you stopped waiting for the other shoe to drop? Not because you're naive, but because you finally understand that you're the one holding the shoe. This is the deepest teaching of the observer effect. Reality doesn't just respond to how you observe the world. Reality responds to how you observe yourself observing the world. It's observation all the way down, and the moment you shift your inner observer, The moment you see yourself as someone who naturally deserves, naturally receives, naturally rides the wave, everything changes. The wave doesn't become easier to catch because you got better at catching. The wave becomes easier to catch because you stopped being someone who drops things. Does that land? Let it sink in. Because this is the core of everything. You are not here to learn techniques for riding the wave. You are here to remember that you're already a natural surfer. So what does this look like in practice? Let me give you something you can actually use. Starting today, starting now. First, the micro-moment practice. The next time something good happens, anything good, no matter how small, I want you to pause, just for 3 seconds. Don't analyze it. Don't question it. Don't prepare for it to end. Just feel it. Let it land. Let your body register. This is good. This is mine. I received this. 3 seconds of pure, unguarded receiving. That's it. That's the practice. It sounds almost too simple. But remember what I told you earlier. The wave of success doesn't require effort. It requires choice. And this micro moment is you making the choice, consciously, deliberately, to receive without resistance. Every time you do this, you're training your observer. You're teaching your nervous system that good things can arrive without consequence. You're slowly, gradually dissolving the old belief that happiness must be paid for in suffering. Second, catch the collapse before it happens. You now know the pattern. Good thing arrives. Mind starts analyzing. Fear creeps in. Wave collapses. Your job is to catch yourself in step 2 before the fear fully activates. When you notice your mind starting to question the good thing, gently interrupt it. You can literally say to yourself, "Not this time. I'm choosing to stay on the wave." You're not suppressing the fear. You're not pretending it doesn't exist. You're simply choosing not to let it drive. Think of it like this. The fearful voice is a passenger in your car. It can speak, it can have opinions, but it doesn't get to steer. You do. Third, practice the identity shift. Every morning for just 1 minute, I want you to observe yourself as someone who is already riding the wave, not someone who's trying to catch it, not someone who hopes it will come, someone who is already on it. Feel what that person feels. Stand how that person stands. Breathe how that person breathes. This isn't visualization. This is embodiment. You're not imagining a future self. You're accessing a version of you that already exists on a life track that's running parallel to this one. And by embodying that frequency, you make it easier to slide onto that track. Remember, the wave doesn't move. You do. And movement happens through frequency, through feeling, through the way you observe yourself and your life. Fourth, protect your energy from pendulums. Now that you understand the wave, you also need to understand what pulls you off it. Pendulums are energy structures, systems, organizations, trends, even social groups that survive by consuming your attention and emotion. They don't care about your goals. They only care about feeding themselves. Every time you get pulled into drama, outrage, comparison, or anxiety, you're feeding a pendulum. And every moment you feed a pendulum, you drift further from the wave. So become selective. Guard your attention like it's precious, because it is. Not every notification deserves your response. Not every trend deserves your participation. Not every crisis deserves your emotional investment. Save your energy for what truly matters. Save it for staying on the wave. And here's the beautiful thing. When you're on the wave, you don't have to hustle. You don't have to force. Life starts working with you instead of against you. Opportunities appear. Connections deepen. Things that used to be hard become strangely easy. Not because you're lucky, because you're aligned. So let's bring this home. You came into this video with a question. Maybe conscious, maybe not. Why do good things slip through my fingers? And now you have an answer. It's not fate. It's not bad luck. It's not the universe being cruel. It's the observer effect. The way you've been watching your life, with fear, with doubt, with the constant expectation of loss, has been collapsing waves of possibility before they could fully form. But here's what I want you to remember. If you've been collapsing waves unconsciously, you can start keeping them open consciously. You don't need more effort. You don't need more worthiness. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to receive differently. When good news comes, let it land. When luck appears, let it stay. When the wave rises, let yourself ride. The bird of happiness is ready to eat from your hand. It always has been. You just have to stop chasing it away. So here's my invitation to you. If something in this video sparked recognition, if you felt seen, understood, or called to something deeper, I want to hear from you. Drop one word in the comments. Just one word that captures what you're feeling right now. Maybe it's seen. Maybe it's ready. Maybe it's finally. Whatever it is, share it. Because when you name what you're feeling, you anchor it. You make it real. And you join a community of people who are learning to ride the wave together. And if you're new here, if this is your first time exploring reality transurfing with me, hit that subscribe button. This is video number 9 in the series. We've covered the observer effect today. How the way you watch your life determines what collapses into form. But here's what I want you to know. In video 10, we're going somewhere deeper. There's a force that's been feeding on your energy, pulling you off the wave every time you get close, and you've never even noticed it working. Once you see it, you'll finally understand why success has felt like pushing a boulder uphill. Why happiness slips away the moment you grasp it. It's not you. It's something else entirely. So make sure you don't miss that one. Pendulums, intention, the space of variations, slides. Each concept builds on the last. This isn't just content, this is a journey, and I'd love to have you on it. Before I let you go, I want to leave you with something. A question to sit with. What would your life look like if you truly believed, not hoped, but believed that good things were coming for you? Not because you earned them, not because you worked for them, but because that's simply who you are. Someone who receives, someone who flows, someone who rides the wave. Close your eyes, just for a moment, and let yourself feel that version of you. That's not fantasy, that's a frequency, and the more you tune into it, the more your reality will shift to match. The wave is already here, it's waiting for you. Are you ready to stop watching it pass and start riding it home? I'll see you in the next one.